Hi, Governor. How are you? Do you mind if I take you up to the set?
Tonight, Sarah Palin at My 9 News.
Well, from one special needs mom to another.
Really?
Yes.
Up close and personal with Brenda Blackmon.
Oh, man.
They're your kids.
They're my kids, you know. You got that mama grizzly bear in you sometimes want to rear up on hind legs.
Questions on a grueling race.
What has been the toughest part of all this?
Now, a side of Sarah Palin you've never seen before, exclusively on My 9. It is a My 9 News exclusive. Sarah Palin taking on Colin Powell. Good evening. The Maverick takes on the General.
And it's a story you will only see right here on My 9 News. Colin Powell's endorsement of Barack Obama and his diss on Sarah Palin. He says she's not ready.
But now Palin speaking out, and she's doing it exclusively on My 9 News. My 9 anchor Brenda Blackmon scored this exclusive interview in our studios today. Brenda, it was amazing stuff.
Thanks a lot, Mike. It sure was. What a day this is in the race for the White House. First, Colin Powell, the one-time Secretary of State in the Bush White House, endorsing Barack Obama on national television. Then, in less than an hour later, Sarah Palin comes to our studios to respond.
The difference between a hockey mom and a pit bull? Lipstick.
Oh, I think she's great. Straight-talking woman.
2 weeks and 2 days. That's all that's left. America decides. Your vote, November 4th. And on this Sunday, when the presidential candidates were stumping around the nation, the woman who would be vice president came to our studios.
Such a pleasure to meet you two.
Thank you so much.
Do you mind if I take you up to the set?
Sure.
Alaska Governor Sarah Palin, exclusively in our studios. One-on-one. The only local sit-down interview she has done. Sarah Palin up close, like we have not seen her before. She spoke candidly, emotionally, about the polls, the politics, and the price her family pays.
What has been the toughest part of all this?
Oh, to tell you honestly, the toughest part has been, well, first, not having enough hours in the day, because we would like to be in every town across, you know, this great nation. I wish there were more hours, but toughest has been the shots taken against the kids, against the family, you know, because it's like, oh, man.
They're your kids.
They're my kids, you know. You got that mama grizzly bear in you sometimes want to rear up on hind legs and say, wait a minute, you know. It's a little bit unfair there. It has nothing to do with taking the country in a new direction. So that's been a tough part of it. But at the same time, I know that, yeah, you know, you run for vice president or president, you better be tough enough to take the shots, and your family, too. It's a team effort, and in offering the family up in the name of service to the country, you better be thick-skinned enough to take it.
A running mate was in Ohio today, one of those key swing states that could decide the election. John McCain was talking taxes, an issue Governor Palin told us will be front and center the final 2 weeks.
Our ticket supports reducing taxes, not taking more of what our small businesses and our families earn and produce and then redistributing that money.
Senator Obama held a rally in North Carolina today, another key swing state. What a weekend for him. Record crowds yesterday in Missouri and record money raised, $150 million in the month of September alone. Impressive stuff even Governor Palin admitted to us.
That's an impressive number that had showed up for his crowd, and Barack Obama sometimes has some impressive speeches also. But it's nothing like the trustworthy and noteworthy also heroic deeds that John McCain is offering in terms of service to his country.
But there is no escaping the polls. Obama up in most by big numbers, too.
I'm not going to put the stake in any poll right now. I believe that November 4th is the only poll that matters.
And then there is the question of what happened today. Colin Powell endorsing Barack Obama.
I think he is a transformational figure. He is a new generation coming into the world, onto the world stage, onto the American stage. And for that reason, I'll be voting for Senator Barack Obama.
An historic endorsement, or is it?
No, I think that had been expected. It's encouraging, of course, that Senator McCain has been endorsed by 4 former secretaries of state and more than 200 retired Army generals and other top brass.
There's no question Sarah Palin has infused the McCain campaign, even brought the Republican base back. But with it, scrutiny, questions about her ability. Is she ready? Again, Colin Powell making headlines today on that issue.
She's a very distinguished woman, and she's to be admired. But at the same time, now that we have had a chance to watch her for some 7 weeks, I don't believe she's ready to be President of the United States, which is the job of the Vice President.
We asked Governor Palin her reaction to that.
I beg to differ with him. Not only will my executive experience be put to very good use in that position, coming from a mayor and small business owner and governor and regulator of oil and gas, but also, the vision that I share with John McCain.
Live from New York, it's Saturday night.
And what about last night? Everyone is talking about her appearance on Saturday Night Live. In fact, everyone's been talking about Tina Fey's impersonation on the show for months now. Palin called last night an important moment for any politician.
Well, the chances you get a chance to laugh, like last night on Saturday Night Live, right?
Fun. I would do that again in a heartbeat. It was the most welcoming and friendly environment that you can imagine. Everyone was so nice, and you have to have a sense of humor through all of this. You have to have some levity through this. Otherwise, it would really, I think, grind on you and wear you out.
Governor Palin spent more than an hour with us in our studio. She was gracious, forthcoming, and confident. She even took some time to get some state business done, too, using our studio to send a message back to Alaska.
Hi, I'm Governor Sarah Palin. Thank you so much for inviting me to be with you at the Alaska Federation of Natives 2008 convention in Anchorage.
John McCain says Sarah Palin will be front and center in his administration. Her focus, energy, reducing our dependency on foreign oil, converting our nation to other forms of power, and, of course, another issue near and dear to her heart, an issue that brought an emotional moment during my interview with her today.
Well, from one special needs mom to another.
Really?
Yes.
Sarah Palin, of course, has vowed to make special needs children a priority in a McCain-Palin administration. Her son, Trig, born 6 months ago with Down syndrome. Her 13-year-old nephew has autism. I shared with her my personal story, the story of my daughter, Kelly. She has lupus, a disease where your body literally attacks itself.
You're going to want to do something special if elected. So
what we need to do is strengthen the National Institute of Health. We have not funded it to the degree that it should be. We haven't prioritized so enough funds go there to strengthen that so that we can start finding some of these cures. We've been so reliant appropriately, in a sense, on the private sector fundraising efforts like you've been engaged in with lupus. That's important too. But the federal government does play an appropriate role here in making sure that resources are prioritized appropriately so that NIH is strengthened and we can start doing even more for this research.
New York and New Jersey are not swing states, or so the polls say. But Governor Palin says her visit here, amazing. Saturday Night Live, awesome. And, of course, her visit to My Nine.
Former journalist, what do you think of our digs here?
It's very beautiful, yes, and just very sharp and classy, too. Yeah, I really like it.
Thank you so much for talking to us again. We appreciate it. And thank you for coming to the My Nine set.
This is beautiful, and you have been so friendly. This has been so nice.
We also extended an invitation to Democratic vice presidential nominee Joe Biden to join us for an interview. As for Sarah Palin, after stopping by our studios, the candidate flew to New Mexico.
Brenda, that was a great interview, but it seemed like you guys really connected when you talked about the family stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
Interestingly enough, Mike, we did talk a lot about especially being a mom. We talked about our kids, and it no longer seemed like a politician talking to a reporter. It was just one mom talking to another about the challenges of parenting. And Sarah Palin seems to approach her run for the vice presidency in much the same way.
Amazing. Great job, Brenda.
Thanks, Brenda.